All right, a hero of the left, Rachel Maddow, now being shunned by her peers for tying the deaths of soldiers in Niger to the president's travel ban.
They just blanket banned people from Chad. Nobody from Chad can get a visa to come here anymore. On Friday of last week, the government of Chad announced that they had completed the withdrawal of all Chadian troops from their neighboring country, Niger, where for years they have been fighting ISIS-linked Islamic militants. Well, right after that, that's when 4 U.S. Army soldiers got attacked by a large contingent of ISIS fighters in Niger.
Wow, here's some of the reaction from the media on this. A Huffington Post article called Maddow's theory flimsy and easily debunked. That was Huffington Post. Mediaite headline said her theory doesn't hold up to scrutiny, and a New York writer tweeted, "Enough with the conspiracies. Tragedy doesn't equal scandal." Here to discuss is former Green Beret commander and Fox News contributor and author of Warrior Diplomat, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Waltz. Colonel, you're not just somebody who understands the war on terror. You were actually in Niger, right?
Yeah, that's right. I served there in 2014. We were embedded with the Nigerian army, helping them with their operations, then focused on all of the bad stuff coming out of southern Libya and towards Mali, where you have al-Qaeda in the Maghreb.
So when you heard Rachel Maddow's theory about the travel ban and pulling troops, Chad pulling troops out, what are your thoughts?
Well, look, I don't know for sure why Chad has pulled back. I strongly suspect it's because they've been in Niger and Nigeria for several years, but they're helping with the Boko Haram problem, and that is in the southeastern part of Niger and the northern part of Nigeria, where Cameroon is also helping in what we call that Lake Chad Basin. That's totally focused on Boko Haram, the group that stole the girls. Our Green Berets who were ambushed and killed are in the other side in the western side of Niger. And keep in mind, Niger is twice the size of Texas. It's a massive country, completely different geography, completely different mission, completely different terrorist group those guys were focused on. And she just, you know, kind of drew this spurious thread there that I think, frankly, as a journalist is you know, ridiculous, because most Americans are just wrapping their minds around what we're doing there. And I just think that it just draws this false line that doesn't exist.
So you have this congresswoman and others saying, well, this is Benghazi for Republicans. And I'm saying to myself, no, Benghazi was a situation where a request for security was not answered. An ambassador was unprotected. And in the end, it took months and years, and we still don't have all the answers. I see that the fact that these 4 made this trip 29 times prior without any turbulence, and then one time they get hit. I think this is a military issue that should be examined so it doesn't start again, but doesn't necessarily add up to scandal, does it? Well, in Benghazi, you then had, is this about a video? And you had kind of the whole cover-up piece. Here, you know, we've had regular rotations. I was in Niger in 2014, 3 years ago. We are embedded with and have long-term relationships with militaries all over the world. As I've told you guys before, you know, we are in 60 to 80 countries every day. That doesn't mean we're necessarily in combat, but those are in very hostile areas. We're working against terrorist groups all over the world, and sometimes we get into, you know, sometimes they get into a fight, and sometimes the terrorists have a small victory against us. We are in a global war against Islamic extremism. I don't think you draw the line to Benghazi at all, and I certainly don't think if you're going to draw the line to a Chad withdrawing, you know, get your facts straight. That was a completely different area, completely different mission. It's almost as if people are cheering for something to go wrong so a party can actually pay a price, which is totally reverse of the way these things are supposed to happen. If something goes wrong, you investigate, and then whatever, you know, where maybe they'll be held to pay, maybe they won't. But when 4 people die, I'm thinking to myself, wow, look how dangerous Africa is and look how spread out we are. I thought that's where we should start. And when you think of General Mattis, General McMaster, and General Kelly, as well as General Dunford, you don't usually think scandal, because these are the people that they know what it's like to be in command. Colonel, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it. Absolutely, Brian. Thanks so much. You actually served as advisor to the Vice President Cheney.